Pouring group. Access. To access the pouring group, just open the door. The service engineer needing to intervene on the system will need a 10mm socket wrench, a 2.5 and 3mm Allen key, small and large Phillips screwdrivers, two 17mm wrenches, 10 and 21mm wrenches, a pin extractor, pliers, Teflon and clamp. The engineer will need to switch off the machine, remove the grounds drawer, turn the key anti-clockwise and then open the front panel. The pouring group is in the middle. Pouring group removal. The engineer will have to remove the Phillips screw holding the motor protection guard in place, and then use a 10mm socket wrench to loosen the right-hand screw. Next, remove the motor cover and the guard protecting the pouring group plug. Remove the top piston, taking off the clip and sliding it out from below. Remove the group wiring plug and pouring pipe. This operation involves pressing the metal ring and pulling the Teflon pipe. The technicians have to loosen the top screw from the pouring group using a 2.5mm Allen key and to remove the bottom one, holding the group in place with one hand. Next, the engineer will remove the pouring group, sliding it downwards. Group motor removal. The service engineer now needs to remove the two screws at the top, under the upper motor bracket, with a 10mm wrench. Slide out the motor and the supply fasten connections. This operation can be carried out with the group fitted to the machine and following the same procedure. Heating element and probe removal. To remove the heating element, loosen the 2mm Allen screw and slide it out. Free the wiring from the clamps and then use an extractor to disconnect the two pins from the wiring connector. The temperature probe is located at the base of the infusion chamber. Use a 2.5mm Allen wrench to remove the two screws. Then free the wiring from the clamps and disconnect the two pins from the wiring connector. This operation is possible with the group fitted on the machine, following the same procedure. Movement screw and bearings removal. To remove the movement screw, it's necessary to remove the group from the machine. Take out the motor and then remove the four 2.5mm Allen screws from the top support of the group. This way it's possible to remove the worm screw by loosening it. The worm screw is located in the right-hand side of the infusion chamber. To remove it, loosen the four 2.5mm Allen screws. The bearings are part of the worm screw. To replace or clean the bearings, remove the nut and support nut using two 17mm wrenches. Then remove the first bearing, the support and bushing, and then the second bearing. When refitting these parts, the service engineer will take care to correctly position the first worm screw bearing, which is comprised of two washers with a grooved part inside and the balls in the centre. The next thing is to insert the bushing inside the support and then to insert the support into the worm screw. Now, fit the second bearing and the first of the two nuts. Tighten with a 17mm wrench. Make sure that the movement is correct and check the clearance of the support. Slide on the nut support and tighten with a 17mm double wrench. Again, make sure that the movement is correct and check the clearance of the support. Grease the bearings and bushing with lubricating spray. Infusion chamber and micromagnetics removal. To remove the infusion chamber, it's necessary to remove the group from the machine, and after taking out the motor, to loosen the two 10mm screws in the bottom group support and the two rear Phillips screws. Remove the base, and with the aid of a 17mm wrench, slide the infusion chamber out from the bottom, turning the worm screw anti-clockwise. The back panel of the infusion chamber contains its magnetic positioning sensor. The back plate of the pouring group contains the three microswitches for group positioning. The three micromagnetic switches serve to check the bottom, intermediate and top position of the infusion chamber. Before removing them, mark their positions with a marker pen and then take out each micromagnetic switch by removing the 2.5mm screw to free them from the clamps and using an extractor to take the two pins out from the wiring connector.